2003. What a year. What a year it was for the NFL and for football fans around the nation. We're going to be going back in time. The year 2003 has just ended, and it is 2004. Now, let me just catch you guys up on what's happened, here recently, where we take off in this story, where the story starts, should I say. The Baltimore Ravens, a team that was deadly back in this time, really made defense stand out, especially in Madden in particular. But in my opinion, they were better than what ended up happening in real life. So 16 seasons has been played since this is taking place. Since 2003. The ending of 2003, there's been 16 seasons played. And only one of those seasons out of the 16 has the Baltimore Ravens taking a Lombardi Trophy, winning the Super Bowl. And we all know, and if you don't know, that was in 2012 when they won the Super Bowl, and it was a really awesome Super Bowl. The lights went like halfway out or something. It got pitch black dark, but it was something. It was an amazing game because one, Ray Lewis, he finally got that game that he deserved, that ring that he deserved, which he had already had one. He has two, I do believe. But looking at the roster that they had, man, I almost feel like they should have had more. They really should have. And we're about to dive deep. Before the series starts, we're about to dive deep of what happened in real life from 2003 to the point where we're at now, to the Baltimore Ravens, and the challenge that I'm taking on. And of course, the challenge is, can I get the Baltimore Ravens to a dynasty where they're winning Super Bowls back to back and they're really dominating, kind of like New England is, like right now, or was. It's officially, I think it's ending, but let's take a dive. So 2003, they finished off 10-6, and that's where Baltimore, that's where we'll actually be starting this series. But just for a second, let's put the series on hold, and let's take a look at what's really happened in real life. So in 2004, after finishing 10-6, the Baltimore Ravens went 9-7. And I don't want to go too far into this. I don't want to take too much time. But they went 9-7, and they missed the playoffs. And at the time, their head coach is Brian Billick. So they ended up going 9-7 in 2004. Then in 2005, they fell off and went 6-10. And then followed that up in 2006 and had a phenomenal year where we went 13-3, only to lose the divisional round, their first playoff show against the Colts. And then in 2007, they'd fall back down to 5-11. So no consistency. They would then, for the first year, in 2008, be under a new head coach, John Harbaugh, who would send this team to 11-5. They would end up winning their first ever playoff game in I don't know how many years, as they made it to the wild card and they beat the Miami Dolphins 27-9. They then went on to win the divisional round 13-10 against the Tennessee Titans, but then unfortunately lost the conference championship against none other than their biggest rivals on this planet, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, in 2009, John Harbaugh would then lead this team to 9-7 and clinch playoff berth, just making it into the wild card, where he would then beat the New England Patriots in a shocker, 33-14. Then they would go on to lose the divisional round against, once again, the Colts. The Colts is a team that has knocked them out now twice since this period. So, moving on to 2010. Baltimore Ravens would then finish 12-9 and 12-4, and so far under new head coach John Harbaugh, they've yet to have a losing season with him. They would end up going to the playoffs and winning the wild card against the Kansas City Chiefs, but then would lose in the divisional round to, again, their biggest rivals on this planet, the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2011, they'd finish 12-4 once again. They're just dominating in the regular season, but they cannot get it done in the playoffs. They'd end up going to the divisional round, winning their first game against Houston, then losing to the Patriots in the conference championship. And things are looking like it's never going to happen at this point for Baltimore. Then 2012 comes around. 2012. They only go 10-6, and they make it to the wild card, and they beat the Colts, a team that's beat them in the playoffs. Then they go to the divisional round, and they beat Denver. And now it's the AFC Championship against none other than New England Patriots, a team that has knocked you out in this game already. This time, it'd be a different story. They'd beat New England. Then they'd head on to face the San Francisco 49ers in a classic Super Bowl. I'll never forget this game. And the Ravens would win. And I do believe that was the last year that Ray Lewis played. I believe. I hope I'm not wrong about that, but I do believe that might have been his last season. Either way, I know he was playing, and he got another ring. So 2013 comes along, and after the Super Bowl win, shocking the world, they finish it with an 8-8 record. The first time John Harbaugh has ever had a record below 9-7. And they wouldn't go to the playoffs. Then 2014, they'd get back there, going 10-6, making it to the wild card, getting revenge on the Pittsburgh Steelers by beating them, but then they would end up losing to the New England Patriots. And this is where it gets kind of bad. For the first time, John Harbaugh, then in 2015, takes the team and they go 5-11. And doesn't look too good. Then in 2016, they end up going 8-8, missing the playoffs once again. That time now, since we've been talking, 2 years in a row they've missed the playoffs. Then in 2017, they go 9-7, just missing the playoffs. And then 2018, they get back, they go 10-6, and they make it to the wild card, but get eliminated right off the rip. So they haven't really had that much of success as of lately. But then we all know what happened. They got Lamar Jackson. And they go 14-2, the best record they've had since we've been talking. But what happens? Another story where Baltimore gets into the playoffs and they lose. And this time they lost in the first round, the divisional round. They lost against the Tennessee Titans. And that is where we leave off. Can we rewrite history? That is the ultimate goal of this series. And I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. You can already see what we're playing, and I can't wait. You've had a look at the team. You've seen it. It's time to go into week 1, and hopefully we have a good start. But I'm excited for this series. I hope you guys are excited as well. These guys deserve. I mean, in my opinion, looking at what happened to Baltimore, I really feel like they missed an opportunity at a dynasty team. They had it on the defensive side for years, but they just didn't get that quarterback. They didn't get that offense that they really needed, and they were only able to get one. Let's see if we can't get more than that with these guys. So let's go.